Welcome back to another study session. Today, we are cracking open Task B.8 from the 6th edition test content outline, which asks us to define and provide examples of unconditioned, conditioned, and generalized reinforcers and punishers.
If you have been following along, you know we are deep in Domain B, concepts and principles. This domain is a massive part of the exam, accounting for 14% of your total score, or roughly 24 questions out of the 175 scored items. If you want to get your BCBA credentials, you have to master the difference between what comes naturally and what we learn through life experience.
Exactly. Think of Task B.8 as the biological versus the biographical. Let us start with the biological side of the house, the unconditioned stimuli. According to our sources, unconditioned reinforcers provide inherent and naturally occurring reinforcement.
I like to call these the survival reinforcers. You do not need a learning history to find them valuable. You were born ready to work for them. The classic example provided is food. If you are hungry, you will engage in behavior to get a snack because it is biologically necessary. You did not have to take a class on why pizza is amazing. Your body just knows.
Right. And on the flip side, we have unconditioned punishers. These are inherent and naturally punishing stimuli. The source gives the example of pain. If you touch a hot stove and feel that sharp sting, that is an unconditioned punisher. You do not need someone to explain that pain is bad. Your nervous system is already on it.
So unconditioned equals nature. But as we grow up, the world starts to pair neutral things with those natural things. That brings us to conditioned reinforcers. These are previously neutral stimuli that have become reinforcers through association with another reinforcer.
This is the heart of learning. A great example of a conditioned reinforcer is verbal praise. When you are a tiny baby, the sound of someone saying "great job" does nothing for you. It is just noise. But because that praise is repeatedly paired with unconditioned reinforcers like food, warmth, or physical touch, the praise itself eventually becomes reinforcing.
It is like the gold star effect. A piece of shiny paper has no biological value, but after years of being paired with treats or extra recess, we will work ourselves to the bone for one. Now, the same logic applies to conditioned punishers. These are previously neutral stimuli that become punishers due to pairing with other punishers.
The sources give the example of a specific facial expression, like an angry face. An angry look does not hurt a baby physically. But if that look is consistently followed by a loud, scary noise or a loss of a toy, that facial expression becomes a conditioned punisher. Eventually, all a parent has to do is give that specific look to decrease an undesirable behavior.
I think everyone listening can relate to the mom look. That look is a powerful conditioned punisher. But now we have to talk about the heavy hitters, the ones that work across almost every situation. The generalized conditioned stimuli. Let us start with generalized conditioned reinforcers.
These are fascinating. A generalized conditioned reinforcer is a stimulus that has had repeated pairings with other reinforcers under various situations. Because it has been paired with so many different things, it can reinforce many different behaviors.
The ultimate example here is money. Think about it. Money is just paper or digits on a screen. But it has been repeatedly paired with a wide variety of both conditioned and unconditioned reinforcement. You can use money to get food, which is unconditioned, or to buy a fancy car, which is conditioned. Because money can be exchanged for so many different backup reinforcers, it almost never loses its power. It is very resistant to satiation.
That is why tokens in a token economy are often called generalized conditioned reinforcers. They are a bridge to whatever the client actually wants at that moment. Now, we also have generalized punishers on the negative side. These exert a punishing effect because they have been associated with many other punishing stimuli.
Our sources list examples like saying no or don't do that. Just like money is paired with many good things, a firm no has been repeatedly paired with a wide variety of both conditioned and unconditioned punishers. Maybe it was paired with a timeout, a loss of privileges, or a loud noise. Because no signals that a whole menu of bad things could happen, it becomes a very effective, broad-spectrum punisher.
So, to recap for the 175 scored questions you will face, Unconditioned means you are born with it, like food or pain. Conditioned means you learned it through pairing, like praise or an angry face. And generalized means it is a powerhouse stimulus paired with many different things, like money or the word no.
If you can keep those 3 levels straight, you are going to breeze through the Task B.8 questions in Domain B. It is all about looking at the history of that stimulus. Was it born a reinforcer, or did it earn that status?
If you want to see how these concepts show up in tricky scenarios, like the difference between a neutral stimulus and a conditioned one, head over to www.bcbamockexam.com for some practice.
Keep up the great work. We are proud of your progress. We will see you in the next session where we talk about extinction.
See ya.
Bye.